One of the tools you will come across when you're producing electronic dance music is obviously multiband compression. And there are quite a few examples where you might want to be using it. So let's look at a few of those in this video. So in one of my prior videos, I kind of explained how you can use compressors to shape the dynamics of sounds, which means you can use them to even out sounds or sound like volume fluctuations, but you can also use them to shape volume curves to create a certain flow or groove and vibe. And you can also use them to accent certain parts of a sound to bring out certain frequencies which are present at that part of the sound, or do the opposite. So you can do many things. And the same goes for multiband compression, just that instead of affecting the whole signal, you can split your signal into different frequency bands, which will then give you kind of a compressor for each single frequency band that you choose. So you can affect the dynamics just of a specific part and frequency band of a sound. So what does that mean? Let's maybe take a look and jump quickly into an example. Let's say we have this drum groove over here, right? There are obviously different elements which take up different parts in the frequency spectrum. We have the kick, which is kind of taking up the bass. We have percussions, which are taking up the mid-range. Then we have like the clap and hi-hats, which are taking up high-end frequencies, right? Let's say we want to compress and get some more loudness and compress our kick and clap. Those are usually two parts which can get a bit louder. And let's take a look at that. As you see, whenever the clap hits, there is a lot of there's an increase in the amplitude and the volume of this. So if we take a compressor, like a conventional compressor, we can now, whenever the clap hits, bring down the volume. And we do this by lowering the threshold. Pretty short attack, short release. And now whenever the clap hits, kind of want to bring it down. Let's take a look at that. It's a bit tough to just get the clap to go down. We're kind of also reducing the volume of the bass drum. If I do this more extreme, obviously, well, we're using the compressor, so we're kind of making this quiet, but that's a bit annoying. The clap, it has this, if you take a look at the frequencies of the clap is kind of up here, right? And it has this 200 hertz hit. And then the bass, the kick drum, is down here. I don't want the bass to go down because the clap is hitting, because I actually want to stay with that nice energy. But if we use a conventional compressor, that can quickly happen. So a multiband compressor can now actually, you can choose a band and say, okay, when the kick and clap hit together, for that, I obviously have to turn on the clap. I can now say, okay, just bringing down the clap threshold down. Now it's going to sound a bit weird, but I just want to overdo it so you realize I can go pretty extreme on this, bring this down. We're taking on all the stuff. And obviously that doesn't do something good for our sound, but no matter how much I do it, the bass drum stays pretty similar, the low end. So we're not influencing that in a bad way. Same goes if you, for example, and for that I obviously have to turn all of this out. Let's say we have this breakdown just before something like a drop. On the drop, we have this crash hitting, right? I don't want, because the crash is all of a sudden there and the sound is a bit louder, for the bass drum to get quieter. So I can throw on this whole drum bus a multiband compressor and kind of say, okay, at different points in time, different elements will be present. Let me just compress every range by a little bit. So whenever something else comes in, I'm going to even it out. So we can use that to balance things out in a way, keeping this in mind, but we can also use it to really shape the curve of a sound. So for example, if we take this tom sound over here and just get the kick drum, or let's get it with the drums. If we go to our master channel now and have a persona here, we can we can kind of control what the kick and the tom are doing without having anything to do or affecting in any other way the other elements. So that's something that in mixing and in mastering obviously comes in pretty handy. And if you are using, or if you're doing your own production and you can technically still compress and control every element that is in there, it can still make sense to process some things together and have them flow together, for example, on your drum bus, in order to kind of make things, unite things a bit more. Because if you process things together and have them flow in a similar way, they can seem a bit more coherent. So let's do that for a second on our drum bus. Right. Pressure. Without. With. Kind of tucks it in quite nicely. All right. And same goes for like once you have some melodic elements coming in. So for example, let's turn off the tom again, but we have this sound, right? Let's now work on our master. This one's a bit extreme. See? So you can take like up to 4 bands or even a bit more. High end seems a bit harsh. Let's bring a bit down, but use enough attack time. Cool. Now, once like mid-range elements come in, or even let's put in the bass sounds for a second. Mid-range elements. Once you have all these elements with these different frequencies present coming in, that can mean that they spike certain frequencies because they overlap at a certain point in time. So you can use your multiband compressors to, just like with a normal compressor, even out sound fluctuations, but you can also use it to shape the vibe. And especially in mixing and mastering, it can help you to not only control certain frequency bands, but also to glue things together and work things out. So yeah, hope this helped out a bit. Let me know in the comments. Obviously, I didn't cover everything about multiband compression, but kind of the idea behind it. And let me know what you think. And I hope to see you in the next one. Ciao.